Hey guys, today we're going to talk about how to find the x and the y-intercept. You're pretty familiar with the y-intercept and how to find it, but the x-intercept, well, that might feel a little bit new to you, but we're going to be doing it a lot this year. So today's lesson is pretty easy. There's one big thing I just want you to remember, and actually we'll say two big things. And so I will definitely put a star by those things. Okay, here we go. So the y-intercept is where a linear function crosses the y-axis. You can find this point by looking at the equation in slope-intercept form and finding the b. The x-intercept is where the linear function crosses the x-axis. All right. First thing I want you to remember, this is the x-intercept is also called the root or the zero, and it's even called the solution. So again, I might say, what is the root? And you're like, I have no idea. What is a root? It is the x-intercept. Or if it says, what is the zeros of this equation? It is the x-intercept. What are the solutions? It is the x-intercept. So keep that in mind. So to find the intercept from a given graph, then identify the zero or root for the function. And then finally, we'll find the equation of the line. So I'm going to find where this crosses over the y-intercept, and it crosses over the y-intercept at 4. The ordered pair for that is, I'm sorry, not 4, negative 4, is 0, negative 4, or you might just say that the y-intercept is negative 4. And that comes up as a question a lot when the question says, what is the y-intercept? And one person writes 0, negative 4, and the other person puts negative 4. Technically, they're both correct, but really and truly, you just have to say the negative 4. The x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis, and that number right there is 2, 0. Or you can just say the x-intercept is 2. So then what is the zero or the root? Well, we're going to look back at that x-intercept, and we're going to say that the zero or the root is 2. And then we're going to have to write an equation for this. So let's see, y equals, let's figure out what the slope is. We're going to do the rise and the run using the x and the y-intercept. So we have the rise, run. The rise is 1, 2, 3, 4. The run is 1, 2. This can be simplified to a positive 2, and it is a positive slope. So y equals 2x, and the y-intercept is minus 4. 2x minus 4. Let's go to the next one. So here the x-intercept is a 2. So that is going to be 2, 0, or we could just say 2. The y-intercept is a 0, 1, or we could just say 1. So what's the zero or the root of this? That's right. It's the x-intercept again. So I'm just going to write 2. Now I need to write an equation. So again, I can do rise over run is just one way. You could do the slope formula if you wanted to. That would be okay too, where you do y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. But I'm just going to go ahead and look here. I have the rise is 1. The run is 1, 2. I can see it's a negative slope, so it is going to be a negative 1 over 2. So my equation is y equals negative 1/2 x, and that's going to be the y-intercept is 1. Pretty easy. Let's go to the next one. Here's the second thing I want you to remember. Find the x and y intercepts from an equation. Remember the x-intercept. The y value is 0. So for the x-intercept, y equals 0. For the y-intercept, x equals 0. And you can see that looking right here, this is your x, this is your y, this is your x, this is your y. That is something else that you want to remember. Very important. If you can just remember, to make everything go a lot faster. All right, in order to find the intercepts from an equation, replace the other variable with a 0 to solve for the intercept. Remember, if the equation is in slope-intercept form, the y-intercept is the b. So let's move on. Find the y-intercept. Find the x-intercept. Now remember, with the x-intercept, y equals 0. Now if you can remember that, watch how easy this is. I'm going to put a 0 right here. And now I'm going to solve for x. So minus 6 minus 6. Bring the negative 2x, divide. X equals a positive 3. So the x-intercept is 3, or you might even say 3, 0. Either one is fine for that answer. Find the y-intercept. Well, I'm going to show you how to do that with this method, but really and truly, if you look, there's the y-intercept right there. But let me show you how this works. For the y-intercept, x equals 0. So I'm going to put a 0 where the x is. Y equals negative 2 times 0 plus 6. And that is why the middle part kind of zeroes itself out, and you're left with 6. So the y is 6, or you could say 0, 6. Pretty easy stuff. Let's look at another one. So this one right here, I'm not even going to change it. I'm not going to move things around to find slope or anything like that. I'm just going to, for the x-intercept, y is 0. So let's put a 0 in. 4x minus 5 times 0. 4x equals 20. And I mean, some of these calculations are so easy, you could probably do a lot of it in your head. Now let's look at the y-intercept. Now the y-intercept isn't just right there in our face. I could move everything around and put it in slope-intercept form, or I can use, if I'm just looking for the y-intercept, I can make x be 0. Because remember, x is 0. So I'm going to get 4 times 0. This goes away, and I'm left with negative 5y. Divide both sides by negative 5. And I get y equals negative 4. So that is my y-intercept. Either one of those answers is okay. Next one, we're going to find the x and y-intercept from this equation. So if you look, we already know what the y-intercept is. Y equals negative 4. We can see it because it's right there. But for the x-intercept, we want to remember that for the x-intercept, that for x-intercept, y equals 0. So I'm going to put a 0 into the equation. 0 equals 5 over 2x minus 4. Now again, I could have cleared the fraction first. I mean, obviously that is a choice. I could now multiply both sides by 2 and then divide both sides by 5. Or you can, to clear that fraction, you can flip the entire fraction. Again, this is just another way. That clears the 2's and the 5's. I'm left with x. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 divided by, well, we're just going to go ahead and write 8 over 5 is my x. And if I simplify that, I get 1.6 equals x. Okay, for my x, I can have a decimal point for that point. So y is negative 4, x is 1.6. All right, let's look at the next one. Again, these can be super easy. You might remember this back even from 6th grade math. So with the x-intercept, y equals 0. So I look over here where y is 0. So that is my x-intercept. For the y-intercept, x equals 0. So I find that. So it is y. The slope, I can use my slope formula. M equals y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. You can use any ordered pair. These are all ordered pairs. You can pick any one you want. What if I picked the two intercepts? So I think I'll call this one the first x and this the first y. I'll call this the second x and I'll call this the second y. Now remember, you could have used any of the ordered pairs. You could have flipped the first, if you wanted to have the other ordered pair be the x1, y1, that's okay too. It all works out in the end. So let's see, I'm going to do 0 minus 6. And then I'm going to do 2 minus 0. Negative 6 over 2, which is a negative 3. So my slope is negative 3. My equation is negative 3x. And then my y-intercept is a positive 6. And there we have it. We're done. Good luck. Look at this video again and again, however many times you need to have this kind of sink into your head. Feel free to ask me questions, and I will see you later.